and welcome back for day 6 of our 12 days of crochet mischief.
Not even halfway yet, but we have a real Noah's Ark of mischief shaping up back here.
Let's get right into it. So our clue for today was that this creature has been known to cause power outages and steal fish. So let's see who we're making. I'm wrangling the legs. And it is a little Pacific octopus who are, frankly, a little too smart for their boots. So these little guys have been known to take umbrage at little red blinking lights and squirt water at them, causing power outages, as well as in multiple stories of aquariums wondering where all of their fish are going, just to check their security cams to find that their local octopus friend has been letting itself out of its enclosure at night, creeping across to the fish tanks and just helping itself to midnight snacks. And that friend is pure mischief. Now, don't forget to wait around to the end for a clue as to who we are making on day 7.
Now, I know we did an octopus back in the very first 12 days of crochet, back when the theme was Australian animals, but I just want it to be said that at the time, this was the best that I could do. And now this is the best that I could do. So we'll probably do another octopus in 4 more years and see if anything has shifted in that time. But yeah, this little fella is still made all in one piece, just like everything else this year.
So to make your little Pacific octopus today, you're going to need 8 ply 100% acrylic yarn in 1 color. So I am choosing to work in the same reddish orange that we used for our squirrel, but honestly, these little guys would work in just about any color. So that's what we're using today. You're also going to need a pair of 9mm safety eyes. That's right, the safety eyes are back, but they are a necessary feature on this particular one, I think. You will also need a 3.5mm hook, scissors, and some stuffing, as well as it can be convenient to have a needle available to help with the finishing off details, but you can use your hook in a pinch. And it's always good to have access to either a stitch marker or a bobby pin of some kind, just to help you keep track of the end of your row. And this one here has a row of 97 stitches in it. Yeah. Let's get started. You want your little buddy on the screen too? Yeah, you guys can supervise. Oh, you're holding hands. Oh, well, aren't you adorable? Ah, you're not adorable, you're armed. Alrighty, so grab whatever color you are choosing to use, and we're going to start with a magic ring of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, 1 row down. Row 2 is 6 increases to bring our round up to 12. It's 1, 2, 5, and 6. Row 3 is 3 repeats of 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and then an increase. So there is our first repeat, and we're going to do that 2 more times to get our round up to 15 stitches. It's 2, and 3. Row 4 is 3 repeats of 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, an increase, and then 2 single crochet, 1 and 2. So there is 1, 2 single crochet, increase, and 2 single crochet. That's 2, 2 single crochet, increase, and 2 single crochet. So there we are at the end of row 4 with 18 stitches in our round. We're then going to work 2 rows of 18 single crochet for a combined total of 36 stitches. 36. So there we are. So we have the little dome at the top of the head. In row 7, we're going to work 3 repeats of 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, a decrease, and then 2 single crochet, 1 and 2. So that's 1, 2 single crochet, a decrease, and then 2 single crochet, That's 2, 1 more, 2 single crochet, decrease, and 2 single crochet, bringing our round down to just 15 stitches. And row 8 is 3 repeats of 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3, and then a decrease. So that's 1, that's 2, and this is 3, bringing us down to 12 stitches. And row 9 is just 12 single crochet around. 1, 2, 3, 10, 11, and 12. So that's the head. Been pretty easy so far. And in the next section, we're going to be building up the eyes, which is a little bit more complicated. So row 10 starts with 3 increases. 1, 2, and 3. Then 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, a decrease, single crochet, decrease, and 2 single crochet back to the start of our round. Row 11 is 3 repeats of a single crochet and an increase. So that's 1, single crochet, increase, that's 2, and single crochet, increase, that's 3. Then it's 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, and now we're going to be working the first little eyeball. So we're going to be working 3 double crochet clusters, which is a stitch that we have used a lot throughout the 12 days of crochet, not this year, but in previous years. And yeah, it's a pretty simple stitch. Basically what you do is you yarn over your hook, insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, leaving you 3 loops on your hook, then yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops. And what this does is it creates, let's see, you've got your active loop, and then you've got this little kind of half-formed stitch nub on your hook as well. So that's 1. And we want to repeat that until we have 3 of these little nubs on our hook in total. So yarn over, insert our hook into the same stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops on our hook. That's 2 little nubs. Once more, 3 little nubs. So 1, 2, 3, and our active loop for 4 loops in total. Then you just yarn over and pull through all 4 of those. And it creates this little bobbly, lumpy, clustery, popcorny thing. There might be another name for it. We call them 3 double crochet clusters here. And that is our first eyeball. We're then just going to work 3 single crochet around the face. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to work the second 3 double crochet cluster for the second eyeball. So same way as we did the first one. Yarn over, insert our hook into the stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through the first 2 loops to create our first nub. Then repeat that into the same stitch 2 more times to get up to 3 little nubs and 4 loops in total on our hook. Yarn over and pull through all 4 loops. And there is our second little eyeball. And that is the end of the row, and it should leave you with 16 stitches around in total. So in row 12, we're going to start forming the tentacles. And I just want to headline this by saying if you're reading the pattern, you're going to notice that there's only kind of 6 spots where we're forming legs in this row. That is intentional. I promise he ends up with 8 legs, okay? It's just there's a lot of really unintuitive stuff in this particular pattern, and then you've got 8 legs and it's fine. And before you get frustrated with this, just in case you're having a hard time keeping track of your stitches, something you could do to make this a little bit easier is every time we work 5 single crochet into the same stitch, mark the middle one. So we're working 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, mark the middle stitch. And then in subsequent rows, we're always working our 5 single crochet into the same stitch into that middle stitch. And it'll just help keep you a little bit more balanced if you're having a hard time keeping track, just working them all in one clump like this. So we're going to start by working 5 repeats of 5 single crochet into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, making sure that it doesn't swallow the stitch next to it, and then a single crochet. So that is our first repeat, and we need to do 4 more of them around. So 5 single crochet into the same stitch, 3, 4, 5, and then a single crochet. It's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So he's got this wibbly wobbly little cape around his back now. And the next stitch we're working into is the one just before this first eyeball. And into it we're going to put 5 single crochet into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. So now we have 6 little wibble wobbles around his back. And we're going to work a decrease with the first stitch being that eyeball and the second stitch being the one next to it. So decrease, then a single crochet, and then a second decrease. So 1 stitch of the face and the second eyeball. Second decrease. So that should leave you with 38 stitches in your round, most of which are a little bit tentacular. And it's only going to get better from here. Again, in row 13, it's going to feel wrong, and you're going to feel like you're only forming 6 legs. Just go with it. So row 13 starts with 5 repeats of 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, then 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, being careful not to gobble up the stitches next to it. And then 3 single crochet. 1, 2, 3. So that's 1, and we need to do that 4 more times around. So 2 single crochet, 1, 2, 5 single crochet into the same stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then 3 single crochet, 1, 2, 3. That's 2. That's 3. That's 4. And that's 5. To continue row 13, we are going to work 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, then 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, then 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, and that should leave you with 3 stitches left in your round. And we're going to work 3 increases back to the start. 1, 2, 3. So that is what we currently look like at the end of row 13. And at this point, we're going to stop and insert our safety eyes if you're using them. Something about the shiny plastic safety eyes just really works on this particular one, even though we have been doing stitched on eyes for a lot of these ones this year. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of my safety eyes and I'm going to insert it into the middle of those cluster stitches that we worked. So that's 1. And 2. What fortuitous popping noises those were. So now he can watch us, so we have to behave ourselves. We're supervised. Okay, so we only have one really bad row to go, which is the longest row in this particular project, in this particular season. Any project you're likely to do in the near future. So row 14 starts with 6 repeats of 4 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. 5 single crochet all into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and at this point they are really going to be trying to gobble up the stitches next to them, so you have to kind of yank them back and really find that stitch that it's trying to get you to skip, and work 5 single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's 1, and we need to do that 5 more times around for 6 in total. So 4 single crochet, 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, 5 single crochet, and 5 single crochet. That's 2. And that's 6. So current state of being. And you should have 5 stitches left in your round, because that's a lot easier than counting how many stitches you've worked so far. And finally, the last 2 legs are going to finally make an appearance. We've been working on 6 of them, and now we need to work on 7 and 8. So we're going to work 5 single crochet into the next stitch around. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 3 single crochet across. 1, 2, and 3, and then 5 single crochet into the final stitch of the round. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. There we go. So we are at the end of row 14. We have worked 97 stitches in total, and we're basically done, believe it or not. You don't believe me, but you will in a second. So row 15, we're going to start by skipping 13 stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the 14th stitch from our hook is the next stitch we're going to work into. And we're going to fold it so that it bobbles to the outside, and so that that 14th stitch is right up next to where we currently are attached. And we're going to work 1 single crochet. There we go. And we're going to repeat that 5 more times. Skip 13 and work a single crochet. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So you should have 6 little petals underneath, and they're all kind of curving one way or the other, however they please. But that's what we currently look like. We're not quite done with this row yet, of course. We still have 2 little leggies to build out the front. In order to do that, we're going to work 2 single crochet, 1 and 2, 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 7 single crochet across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, leaving you with 3 stitches in your round, 5 single crochet all into the same stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, leaving you with 2 stitches in your round, and we're going to work 2 single crochet back to the start. 1 and 2. And that is how you get 97 stitches down to 27 stitches in one row. You just skip most of them. So we have only 1 row left to go. So we're going to take a second here and we're going to stuff the head. Give him all that good old knowledge. Don't worry about stuffing the tentacles, just the body is sufficient. The tentacles will absolutely hold their shape once we finish forming them. So that is what we currently look like from above, from the side, from underneath. It's not a bad way to form little flower petals, actually. And you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 formed tentacles and 2 tentacle knobs at the front. Okay, final row, row 16. We're going to start with 3, what are you doing over there? Get over there. We're going to start with 3 decreases. 1, 2, 3. Then we're going to skip the next 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So working into the 10th stitch from our hook. We're going to work a single crochet 3 together. Now this is the first time this stitch has come up in this pattern, but we're only going to do the standard one anyway, so it's nice and easy. It's a decrease over 3 stitches. So I've inserted my hook into the first stitch already. I'm going to yarn over and pull up a loop. So that's 1. I'm going to do that in the next stitch along as well, 2, and the next stitch along as well for 3, leaving me with 4 loops in total on my hook. Then I just yarn over and pull through all 4. There we go. You learned how to form that stitch under duress. We're then going to skip 8 stitches. So we skipped 9 for the first one and we're skipping 8 for the second one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, bringing you to your final stitch in your round. You can see I've marked mine there, and I'm just going to work a slip stitch into it and finish off, and leave yourself a pretty long tail. We'll just use that tail to finish assembling the rest of the tentacles. I have shredded my yarn. Hold please. All the time to get a yarn separation. That was not ideal. Okay. Sorry about that. My yarn chose to betray me at the most inopportune moment. So that is the end of the crochet of this piece, but we obviously just need to finish assembling the tentacles because this is what they look like at the start and this is what they'll look like when we're done. So I'm going to be using a friendly neighborhood plastic needle for this, but you can use a sharp needle or even your hook for this process. And we basically need to work our way around every single tentacle and close them off. So we have 6 of these larger tentacles, so we'll just start there. And we skipped 13 stitches for each of them. So if we flatten them out straight, we should be able to find 6 pairs of stitches and 1 stitch left at the end. And all we're going to do is work our needle down towards us, picking up the front loop of the top stitch and then the front loop of the bottom stitch of each of those pairs. So 1, I'm going to do that the whole way up. 2, 3, 4. Sorry, my yarn is shredded and I'm still trying to use it and I don't know why. 5, I think that was 5. Okay, I've done this one slightly wonky, but the job is still getting done. Okay, and then with the 1 stitch left at the end, we're just going to work up through the front loop and then down and along the tentacle to the base of the next one. So there is one of them. It gives you a pretty nice little close along the base of it. So we need to do that 5 more times for the large ones. And then for the small ones, it's basically the same thing. It's just there's fewer pairs along the row. And the reason that I match stitches up instead of just sewing them shut is that make sure that everything lines up straight and sits in the position I expect it to be in. Whereas if you sew them shut any which way, don't get me wrong, you'll still get a tentacle, but it might be twisting a different way, or it might be slightly crooked, or, you know, a bunch of other things. So this is just how you get it to look like mine. Here we go, and just weave that end in. And there you have a finished day 6, the Great Pacific Octopus, who is in fact pretty great. And they interlock, and they act like little cogs. So yeah, high five. Okay, and there is day 6 done, meaning we are officially at the halfway point of this event. So please don't forget to leave photos of any of the 6 that you've made so far over on the Discord so they can be included in the slideshows at the end of these videos, because it's my favorite part, okay? So your clue for day 7 is this creature recently starred in an indie game where it got to terrorize a small village. You're going to need white and orange, and this one is going to take you about 30 minutes. If you think you know the answer, leave your guesses in the comments down below, and I will let you know tomorrow in a pinned comment how many people I saw guess it correctly. But yeah, I hope to see you there. Okay, bye!